twist. Williams, nothing but net. Again, it's Trick who shoots and doesn't miss.
Hey, what's going on YouTube land? It's your boy TJ and welcome to my YouTube channel, Wrestling Nostalgia, where I give my reviews on the WWE shows and PLE events. And today we are going to be reviewing NXT April 16th, 2024. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We opened up with our opener match, which is Noma and Dar versus Dijak. They actually had a pretty standard back and forth match. The story behind this particular match is Dar is sticking up for Jakar Jackson, and he didn't like how he was talking to Metaphor, which is, you know, four of them, Metaphor, Super 4. And he is in the ring with Dijak, who is a giant compared to him. He did take the fight to him, and it was certain times where Dijak had the advantage, and then it went vice versa. But thanks to Meza, Dar ended up taking advantage, and this is what happened. So Meza seen that Dijak was about to get the victory, so he distracted Dijak, and Dijak wind up booting him out of his socks. And then he ends up getting hit with the running drop kick, and 1, 2, 3, Dar wins this match. This was actually pretty good. Didn't expect Dar to win this match against this giant Dijak, and hey. In this next segment, it is Ava, and Dragunov is in her office. She says that, as you know, Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes have a steel cage match, and I find it unfair that you're not in action and you have the night off. So he says, well, you're the GM. So she said it is going to be an open challenge, but I'm going to allow you to pick your opponent. He says he welcomes the challenge, and she says, okay. So this is when he says, send a message out to the NXT locker room that they have an opportunity to prove themselves to Dragunov. I'm like, okay, Mr. Cocky, let's see what you got. In this next segment, it is Tatum. And basically, to make a long story short, she's saying that most of her life, she always tried to be a good girl and hang out with the cool kids, but nobody really wanted to hang with her because how, I guess, different she was. And she said when Lyra ended up being the women's champion, the NXT women's champion, that it was the closest thing to good until she lost the women's championship. And now she has no need or use for her. So now Roxanne is the cool kid, but I can't really see myself vibing with her. So I'm going to take the NXT Women's Championship. We're going to see about that Mickie James 2.0, aka Victoria's crazy sister. In this next match, it is Soruka versus Lola Vice. They actually had a pretty standard back and forth match until Blair Davenport got involved. While Soruka looked like she was well in hand for a win, Blair Davenport pulls the ropes, and then this is where Soruka lands on the mat, and then Lola Vice hits a spin kick. 1, 2, 3. Lola Vice wins this match. After the match, this is when Natalya winds up appearing on the Tykatron, and she challenges Lola Vice to a NXT Underground match. I don't know what that necessarily consists of, but we're gonna see what that is next week. This next segment, it is Ariana Grace, and she's meeting up with Georgina, Gigi. They're basically meeting up for elegance training or whatever you want to call it. So basically, make a long story short, they're about to go dress shopping, and you could tell by the look on Georgina's face, she is really ecstatic to look like a pageant queen. And I remember, just for a little bit more context, She said something about, oh yeah, I have all black because, you know, it matches with anything. She said black, ew, no. We're so not going to do that color. And I'm like, ooh. Yo, I'm not going to lie, this segment is entertaining, but just seeing Gigi be all this dark glob of energy is just so funny to me. And then Ariana Grace is trying to make her graceful and all this other stuff. It's just so hilarious to me. Definitely when she says, well, the way you dress says, and then she finishes for that I'll kick your face in it if you get too close. So this, she said, yeah, and that's not the type of messages we want to send. And I'm like, I really want to see what Ariana Grace is going to put on Georgina's body. Oh my gosh. In this next match, it is Ridge Holland versus Joaquin Wilde. They actually had a pretty standard back and forth match. And sidebar, Shawn Spears ended up coming out for whatever reason. I guess he's Ridge Holland's conscience or something, I don't know. So they wind up going back and forth. But towards the end of the match, Joaquin Wilde ended up getting hit with a modified DDT by Ridge Holland, and he wins the match. And then after Ridge Holland gets out the ring, he bumps into Shawn Spears. So we're going to see what's going to happen with the development with these two guys. In this next segment, it is Josh Bridge. I guess he had like 2 fractured or broken ribs, and the medical staff is checking up on him to see if he's doing okay. And he said sometimes when he breathes, it hurts and things like that. And he said, just go ahead and just take it easy, and pretty soon you'll be okay. So this is when the medical staff leaves and Ivar comes in and he says, hey, you know what I'm saying, you okay? He said, yeah, I'll be all right. And he said, yeah, well, I'm about to go ahead and take on Oba. And then once I win the North American Championship, then I'll give you the first opportunity once you're all healed up and take a couple of weeks off. And how does that sound to you? And he said, absolutely not. He said, stay on Raw and get your ass kicked by Sheamus. And I'm like, damn. Well, damn. He said, but I kick your ass tonight. And I'm like, oh man, this is getting heated. So he said, all right. Josh says, okay, I'll see you in the ring tonight. And I'm like, well, that got heated real fast. So we're going to see these two later on in the match tonight. In this next match, it is an open challenge for Dragunov. And what was so funny is that everybody wanted a piece of Dragunov, and everybody's all trying to get to the ring, like half of the locker room is out there. Then all of a sudden, Jovan jumps from the heavens and bam, right in front of Dragunov. And then they get it on with a whole bunch of flying fists and high-flying, death-defying moves traded from each superstar. But in the end, Dragunov ended up blocking one of Jovan's high-flying maneuvers. Then he wound up doing the Dragon Arm Carrier on the turnbuckle and then hit a running headbutt or whatever that little thing that he does where he was like... And then 1, 2, 3, he wins. He ends up giving the newcomer a handshake, and then they part ways. I'm not gonna lie, Jovan looks like he has a very promising, bright career ahead of him. Definitely with all those high-flying moves. Hopefully, you know, he's not injury prone and he is good to go, because I really do feel like he is going to be the next at some point in time. That man is way too talented to not be a champion somewhere down the line in the near future. In this next segment, it is Carmen. She has an interview. She says that she's going to be in Natty's corner for the NXT Underground. So this is when Lola comes out and says, you can be in her corner all you want to, but just wait until you see who's in my corner. And I'm like, okay. Lola Vice got some tricks up her sleeve. In this next matchup, it is Tatum Paxley versus Thea Hill. They had a pretty competitive but short match. And I'm not gonna lie, Tatum is really, really weird, and some of her offense is very unorthodox. I remember she did like a tarantula-like move where she had her like in the air but with her legs wrapped around her legs, and then like her almost like in a choking move. I was just like, I've never seen no crazy stuff like that. But anyways, as Thea Hale gets a little bit more momentum behind her, this is when Jasmine comes out and distracts her, but she ends up still being on top of Tatum. Thea Hale tries to do a moonsault or something like that, a springboard moonsault, but JCJ ends up taking her legs from under her, and this is when Tatum ends up rolling her up for a crucifix pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Tatum wins this match. So JCJ ends up getting a beat down by Thea Hale. They ended up, trading blows, and JCJ is not letting up. So this is when, back in the ring, La Valkyria winds up coming back and beating up on Tatum, and everybody's just fighting. So this is when segue onto Roxanne Perez's interview. She says, look, they can tear each other to shreds for all I care. And maybe in a one-on-one match, they'll get an opportunity at my women's championship. Ava has it so easy. And she make it seem like her job is so hard. So this is when Ava comes out and said, you know what? My job is easier. You made it even easier. Because next week at Spring Breaking, you have a triple threat match for your NXT Women's Championship. Good luck. So this is when she said, oh yeah, you just want me to lose my women's championship without me getting pinned, don't you? So she said, you got it, girl. Good luck. And then she left. I was like, well, Roxanne is not making a lot of friends lately, but I mean, hey, at least you have a brand new opportunity at Raw or SmackDown in the near future. In this next matchup, it is a tag team match, AOP versus Idris and Malik Blade. Oh my goodness. That was a mauling. Anybody going against AOP, good luck to you, because they absolutely squashed these guys. I mean, Idris and Malik tried to get some type of offense in, but to no avail. I remember at one point in the match, towards the end of the match, one of them, I forgot who it was, but Malik or Idris wound up diving out onto AOP, but they ended up both catching him. So the other member runs out and dives out, but they wind up powerbombing him into his partner. And then back in the ring, they end up hitting a double powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. They end this match. Man, I feel really bad about Idris and Malik. These guys are very impressive looking, but they've just been on a downward spiral lately, and I hope they go in the upward trajectory at some point soon, because goodness gracious, y'all are on the losing streak. In this next segment, it is Gigi Dolan and Ariana Grace, and they are shopping for dresses. Gigi is so ecstatic about this. She said, you don't honestly think that I would wear anything out of here, right? So Ariana was all like trying to encourage her that, like, look, just be a sport about it and this, that, and the third. She said, look, there's a dress right there. Oh my goodness, I think you look so great in this. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like it either. So my sentiments exactly was for Gigi. She said, I absolutely hate it. So then this is when Gigi said, okay, I'll wear it, but let me go ahead and I just gotta make it my own, right? So Ariana says, yeah, sure. So she goes in there with the bag, and I already knew it was going to happen. She wound up cutting and pasting it and all that other good stuff. And actually, the dress looks a lot better than what it came in as. But the outcome did look a lot better. I just didn't like the top part that much. But anyways, the dress looked nice. So then they get to the cash register, and she said, yeah, she's paying. So this is when Ariana Grace said, you guys take credit, right? And then she had a whole bunch of, a wad of credit cards. I'm like, girl, credit card, bro. I can't. In this next matchup, it is Josh Briggs versus Ivar. They have a pretty standard back and forth match. And sidebar, this man is injuring with broken ribs, so I don't understand why would WWE would allow him to still go out there and fight, but hey, it is what it is. In the end, Ivar ends up taking advantage of his injured ribs. He does a moonsault, doomsault on the top rope. 1, 2, 3, he wins this match. So then the camera pans over to Oba, and he has an interview segment, and a man of few words. The interviewer asks, what did you think of Ivar's match? He says, interesting. So he walks off, and he bumps into Miza again. This is the second time. And Miza says, not again. Oh my goodness, I make a bold prediction. I have a bad feeling that Miza is going to cause Oba, or at least he's going to distract him next week on spring breaking when Ivar and Oba face each other for the NXT North American Championship. I don't know why, I just have a very bad feeling he's either going to cost him the championship or he's going to go out there and try to distract him in some way, somehow. He's going to have some involvement either in costing him the championship or coming out and trying to get his lick back. In this next segment, it is an interview with Carmelo Hayes. And he tells Trick that it's not over until he says he's over. He said that he gave him everything in NXT, and tonight he takes it away. And sidebar, I just noticed, why does he have a Trick Williams shirt on called Whoop That Trick? Yo, this man is a troll. I can't with Carmelo Hayes. So finally, we are here at the main event, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes in a steel cage match. So they start off already, Carmelo is on his BS. He pushes Trick Williams, and then Trick is trying to get to him. Then they ended up swapping blows and things like that. Carmelo's trying to put the cage into play, but Trick is too strong. He's like, no, you ain't gonna ram my head into that cage. So then they kind of go back and forth doing that. So then, somewhere down the line in the match, Carmelo ends up having the upper hand, and then he ends up getting one of his security to get a nightstick or something. It was something, and it looked like a bat a little bit. And then he ends up whacking him with it. This is when Carmelo is still in control of Trick Williams, and he's working on the arm, and he's slamming him all around in the cage, and it ain't looking too good for Trick Williams. Carmelo is still in control, and he ends up smashing him into the steel cage, and he keeps bouncing off of the steel cage with Trick Williams in between the cage and the ropes. So he does this about 2-3 times, and then about the third or fourth time, he ends up dropping down. And this is where the ties change, and then he ends up, getting some offense in. Trick Williams ends up hitting a bookend from the middle rope, and then they're both laid out. After Trick hits the bookend from the middle rope, he ends up nipping up. Then he gets some offense in, and then he's slamming Carmelo Hayes through the cages, through each side of the cage, and just ragtagging them. The two swaps the advantages. Trick Williams ended up getting another bookend on him. And then I remember at another point in the match, he ended up getting the trick kick on him. I love that trick kick when he does the turnaround and the bam. I love that move. I really do miss that move as his finisher. But anyways, Carmelo knew what was going on. So once he seen that when they were on the top rope, he tried to hit a running bulldog, but Trick was like, nope. But Trick winds up landing on his feet. So then this is when Carmelo Hayes calls in an audible and brings in his personal security. They end up getting beat up. One of them actually got into the cage with the chair. He got beat up and got thrown into each side of the steel cage. So then this is when Carmelo finally gets the steel chair in his hand, and he tries to run after Trick Williams with it. And then Trick hits the trick knee. Bam! Right into the chair, into Carmelo's face. 1, 2, 3. He wins this cage match. So now Trick Williams is hot on dragging off heels, and he is after that NXT World Championship. I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen at Spring Breaking with Trick Williams and Dragunov. These two are gonna tear the roof off the house, and I am so ready to see it. And I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing, Shawn Michaels. You better book Trick Williams to win that NXT World Championship, or well, we on your ass. Okay, I'm not even playing about that. But anyways, comment down below. Let me know. Do you want to see Trick Williams win the NXT Championship, or do you want to see Dragunov retain? Anyways, comment down below, like, share, and subscribe, and help me grow my channel. And peace. TJ, I'm out.
Friendship's last breath was just taken.
You're so pretty.